Welcome back. How was your trip to the surface? It was very sad. Why? What happened? It's been classified as mostly harmless, right? I think they had something they called the Peace Wars. Yes, I read about that in the Transplanetary Archives. They thought everything could be fixed with one approach. Yes, it was called liberalism. It was meant to shape everything and everyone into a unified, peaceful world. There was a lot of war. They were a violent species. There was a lot of war in very poor places, and the masters decided how things had to be fixed. The what? The masters. They were the countries and men who ran the biggest institutions in the world and had most of the money and power and could order people around by threatening to withhold what they needed. It sounds primitive, as if they thought they were a superior race. They were masters of technology and not at all primitive. But somewhere along the way their technological superiority led them to believe they had all the social answers. How did they try to build peace? They brought with them all the values and rules and ways of the masters' world. They tried to make them behave like rich, powerful, well-educated and well-protected people do. But they weren't rich and they weren't highly educated and they were very insecure because their countries had been at war so long. This was how peace was made. Powerful countries holding all the cards told weak places they had to be like them, and then denied them the means to achieve this. Oh, only one idea was allowed, remember? It was that way or no way. They didn't take into consideration the little people. Little people? Yes. I assume they were little because they don't seem to have been noticed. They certainly weren't anywhere to be seen when the peace was being planned. Must have been invisible. Who must have been invisible? The masters, with all their power and technology? No. The populations of the countries. The people the masters were making peace for. I don't get it. Surely the people with the power and the ideas must have known what they were doing? Yeah, you'd have thought so. They thought so. But they built everything based on their own values and needs. They never really thought about the populations and their needs. So the populations rejected the peace. Oh. They had no education, no electricity, only dirty water to drink from, no healthcare, no jobs, and all they were given was elections to choose leaders who had to do what the masters said. Wait. No education? No medicine? No jobs. Everywhere has those. They were the most basic things humans needed. And how would people with no money pay for the stuff they needed? Did some other masters come in and save them? No. Everywhere had to be liberal, no matter what state they were in. No wonder they rebelled. The masters gave those poor people what they thought they should have, not what they needed. Why didn't people just make themselves jobs out of rebuilding their country? A good question. Unfortunately, the masters wanted to make the profit from doing that themselves and awarded themselves massive contracts. So the masters got richer from ending the wars. No wonder it was their way or no way. But there was peace and liberalism, right? No. No? Very little lasting peace and even less democracy. What? What's democracy? It's how they sold the plan. Democracy's a hoorah word. Nobody criticizes it. Those that did were called communists and socialists and forever discredited. The poor people got it. They knew they were being shafted and they fought back. Oh, so that's the peace wars? Kind of. They bypassed all the expensive offices and rules and laws that the masters made and adopted the bits they liked. But for the most part, it was bad for poor people and good for richer ones. And then it was all abandoned because it was failing so many people, right? Wrong. The masters controlled knowledge and decision-making and wouldn't listen to the people in their midst or the little invisible foreign people. Some people called it hubris. Oh, even I know what it is. All pilots have hubris. We think we're gods when we are not. Well done. So the wars carried on and the masters got richer and blamed the poor people who continue to suffer and die in their millions for their troubles, right? Yes. You could see where it was heading. Did anyone make it? Yes. In the end, the argument swung when a few people started asking poor people what they wanted and published the evidence in a place where everyone could see it. It was called the interwebs. Oh good. A happy ending.